we, the indigenous people of the African continent, and all people of African ancestry all over the world share the common scars of slavery, colonization, and colonialism, which dispossessed us of our land, natural and economic resources, dignity, heritage, culture, languages, and identity. Since the beginning of slavery and colonialism, all people of African ancestry continue to be on the margins of mainstream economic and social participation and relevance. In South Africa, the black majority and indigenous people were subjected to centuries of colonialism and apartheid, which was manifested through a symbiotic combination of political, economic, social, spatial, cultural, language, or ideological apartheid and oppression. The symbiotic and mutual reincarnation of these forms of apartheid and oppression constitute the core of why the black majority and indigenous people have and continue to be subjected to colonialism and apartheid, oppression, and exclusion. The period and era of the struggle against colonialism and apartheid have revealed that at the center of the liberation struggle has to be the aim for total liberation and freedom from oppression and exploitation. The struggle against apartheid and colonialism is not linear and always encounters setbacks and counter-revolutionary moments and episodes, which must be resisted and combated through revolutionary vigilance, fortitude, and resilience. Political apartheid and oppression happened through the conquest, subjugation, oppression, and exclusion of black and indigenous people in the political life of South Africa, where the oppressed were not allowed to vote and be voted for. Economic apartheid and oppression happened through white minority capitalist oppression, where racism was used as an instrument of capitalist super-exploitation, and this constituted the backbone of colonialism and apartheid. Social apartheid and oppression happened through systematic and systemic racism, which positioned black people as an inferior race, not permitted to gain the same privileges as white people, or permitted to express their full cultural and traditional identity and existence as a people. Spatial apartheid and oppression happened through land dispossession and the relegation of the black majority into less qualitative and the least productive land and spaces of South Africa's surface. Cultural apartheid and oppression happened through the dispersion, demarcation, and attempted obliteration of black people's cultural systems, including systems of traditional leadership, medicines, and custom, as well as undermining of indigenous languages, norms, and value systems such as Ubuntu and collectivism. Ideological or knowledge apartheid and oppression happened through the degradation of African knowledge systems, religions, and the imposition of colonial-based education system. While overt political apartheid was ended through the first inclusive elections in 1994 in South Africa, there still exist very strong and visible components of economic, social, spatial, and ideological knowledge apartheid and oppression. The system of colonialism and apartheid did not end in 1994, but took a different form and shape. Attempts to reverse the total impact and consequences of apartheid continue to be suppressed, bastardized, and criminalized by the white racists in partnership with black collaborators, all under the direct support of the imperialist and racist global order and its sponsored media. As with the leaflet announcing the formation of Umkhonto weSizwe December 16, 1961, after the banning and legalization of the liberation movements by the white minority racist apartheid regime, the announcement statement made by President Jacob Zuma on the 16th of December 2023 signaled our refusal to surrender to the struggle against neocolonialism apartheid. The statement of President Zuma on the 16th of December 2023 signals our refusal to surrender in the struggle against neocolonialism and apartheid. South Africa is currently still under neocolonial and apartheid rule, which excludes the black majority and indigenous people from any meaningful economic participation and benefit. South Africa is still defined by strong and continued presence of economic, social, spatial, cultural, and knowledge ideological apartheid and oppression. The statement of President Jacob Zuma on the 16th of December 2023 represents a clarion call that the struggle continues, and the current phase of struggle requires unity in action of all the oppressed masses of our people. The statement of President Zuma on the 16th of December 2023 is a call to action that will still need to fight for true and real freedom and emancipation. Above all, the statement of President Zuma is a cry for the unity of the progressive forces which represents the oppressed. The statement represents the foundational contemporaryism why Umkhonto we Sizwe Party exists. Every cadre of Umkhonto we Sizwe must read and internalize it. It must be conceptualized as a living document in analyzing the current conjuncture and phase the struggle and fight for radical economic transformation and economic freedom. Umkhonto we Sizwe Party exists to realize the broad-based and total liberation of our people from political, economic, social, spatial, cultural, and knowledge or ideological apartheid and all other forms of oppression and exclusion. Total freedom, total political freedom means that as a people of South Africa and the African continent, we must be able to establish our own political institutions and take our own political decisions without supervision from the white former colonizers and the imperialist global West. Total economic freedom and emancipation means that the people of South Africa and Africa should be able to own, control, and meaningfully benefit from the economic resources systems and determine our destiny without neo-colonial and neo-apartheid interference and racist supervision. Total social freedom means that all forms of racism must come to an end and there must be a full integration of all the people who live and stay in South Africa. Total spatial freedom means that the whole of South Africa must be fully integrated and land must be shared equitably amongst the people of South Africa. There must be little distinction between urban and rural, and there must be no distinction between townships and affluent suburbs. Total cultural freedom means that whilst embracing the values of a democratic society, we should aggressively reassert our indigenous cultural heritage and systems. Total knowledge and ideological freedom means that we should regain full control of our knowledge systems and all forms of organized knowledge and decolonize educational systems and finance. Decolonization must lie at the ideological center of the new struggle for the total liberation of our country, the continent, and the world. The white colonial settlers defeated and subjugated the black majority of Africans in South Africa because the resistance and struggle against colonialism was fought by small groups of indigenous leaders and clans. In their journey of colonial conquest and subjugation, the white colonial settlers never encountered black people as a unified opposition against colonialism. With the liberation movement attempted to unite the forces of resistance from 1912 onwards, the period we are in has stratified and continues to divide black political resistance to neo-colonialism. Umkhonto we Sizwe Party is therefore a political movement that seeks to unite all the anti-colonial, anti-apartheid, and anti-imperialist progressive forces to continue and to complete the unfinished fight for total liberation and freedom. Umkhonto we Sizwe Party believes that now is the time that we unite all the progressive forces, particularly those who are not projects of and instruments of continued white domination and oppression. Umkhonto we Sizwe Party unites the ideological strengths of freedom fighters who associate the wars of resistance against colonialism and apartheid, a radical and militant interpretation and application of the Freedom Charter, Pan-Africanism, Black consciousness, and similar philosophies. We believe that the phase of the revolution we are currently in calls for total unity and unification of the progressive forces. Umkhonto we Sizwe Party stands totally and fundamentally opposed to collaboration with colonial, neo-colonial forces and their descendants who still uphold and defend colonial intentions and aspirations. We acknowledge that the democratic breakthrough relegated African customs, traditions and systems of governance, whilst other democratic, socialist and progressive programs all over the world embrace democracy, socialism and progressive change, aim at retaining and protecting their cultural heritage, customs, traditions and recognition of traditional leadership. Umkhonto Wesizwe Party is a total liberation progressive movement fighting for total political, economic, social, spatial, cultural, and knowledge or ideological freedom and emancipation. The core value of our struggle is the unity of all the progressive forces and demonstrable mobility, excellence, and capacity of those who will be deployed to play different roles in the state and other institutions. Umkhonto Wesizwe Party is opposed to colonialism, neo-colonialism, neoliberalism, racism, sexism, and all unjust laws, systems and practices that seek to demonize black people and Africans in South Africa and the entire world. Umkhonto Wesizwe Party is founded on the fundamental philosophy that the greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressed is their unity in action. Umkhonto Wesizwe Party is a revolutionary political movement that is founded on the principles of progressive internationalism, Pan-Africanism.
That we will meet, not conferences of elections, in what is called consultative conference, where we'll be consulting about our work and looking at whatever we've done, are we doing well, what are the shortcomings, etc., and then take decisions. What then is the next? So consultative, yes. As we always meet, we'll also love that our provinces come where we are all together to discuss where the organization is, what next we need to do to better our activities, etc., etc., etc. I have not seen these days, in particular, anything that is better in our conferences that we've been having. And we've asked the question, what is it that is more important for us to have conferences, what are they called? Elective conference. Why must we keep on electing? We call it democracy. But I'm sure all of you know that today, those who win are those who have the money. Is that consulted? Is that democracy? Do you know that there are presidents who are president today because they had all the money, but they can't do the presidency or do anything that is presidential? No, that's true. It has become a business, not even a proper business, corrupt business, where people take money, pay to elect so and so. One of the things that those who are behind those who have money have done, if you get elected, they think you are not doing what they want. They then give money to your comrades without you knowing, that pay people to be able to have so and so become a leader. So we have leaders who are not the leaders of the membership, but the leaders that have been elected by bought people with money. I don't think there is any democracy that we're talking about. And we know it because we have suffered. Maybe many of you have not. But some of us have, as political parties. There are people who are leading who are not supposed, who are not meant to be leaders. They don't even know how to lead. But because of the money, they are. I just wanted to clarify this. You should know it's a well thought out decision. We want, in the first instance, I don't understand why, if there is a leader who is leading very well, doing everything, he must be taken out. You bring somebody who is directed from somewhere, even outside of the country. I don't think we should be so blind, to see that. It's a simple thing. Agreed? Journalist agreed? Thank you very much.
Thank you, President. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, that is the last speech. That's our closing. And we'd like to thank you for being present today, and drive safely home. Thanks.